In this video, we are going to learn Act 1, Scene 1 of The Merchant of Venice from line number 1 to 46. The opening scene gives the exposition, the situation on which the story is based. We are introduced to Antonio the merchant who gives the title to the drama. Interest is heightened by showing him in a melancholic mood. Melancholic means sad. Salarino and Salanio, his friends, give various reasons for his sadness and try to bring him out of it. Bassanio, the closest friend of Antonio, asks for a loan from him in order to present himself as an eligible suitor to Portia, a rich heiress of Belmont. Heiress is a woman who is legally entitled to a property or rank on a person's death. Antonio's ships are still at sea. He has no ready cash with him, but he authorizes Bassanio to use his good name for credit and get a loan from the moneylenders. So this is the summary of Act 1, Scene 1. Let's learn it in detail now. All of you take the Verity edition of The Merchant of Venice and turn to page number 21. Act 1, Scene 1 takes place in Venice at a street where we find Antonio, Salarino, and Salanio speaking among themselves. Antonio: in sooth, to be honest, I know not why I am sad. So Antonio tells that to be honest, he doesn't even know the reason for his sadness. He is in a melancholic mood, but he doesn't know the reason for his sadness. It wearies me, you say it wearies you. So Antonio tells that the sadness tires him or makes him tired, and you say you here refers to Salarino and Salanio. So the sadness of Antonio makes these two people also tired. But how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, whereof it is born, born means the origin of the sadness, I am to learn. So Antonio says that how he caught the sadness, how he found it, how he came by it. Came means how he got it. What stuff 'tis made of, what material the sadness is made of, wherefore or whereof it is born, I am to learn. So he doesn't know the reason, the origin, and how he got the sadness. And such a want with sadness makes of me that I have much ado to know myself. Ado means trouble. Want wit means a dull person or absent minded fellow. So Antonio says that this sadness has made him as an absent minded person so that he doesn't even know who he is. Is it clear, students? See, let me tell the meaning of the first 7 lines now. Listen very carefully. To be honest, I do not know why I am sad, and the sadness makes me tired. And you people also say that my sadness is making you tired. That is, when you see me so sad, you become tired. I do not know how I caught the sadness, how I found it, or it came by it, or what material it's made of, and whereof it is born. That is the origin of the sadness. I am to learn. I have to find it. I do not know now. And such a want with sadness makes of me, and this sadness makes me so absent minded that I do not know who I am. Salarino: your mind is tossing on the ocean. So Salarino is trying to figure out the reason behind Antonio's sadness. So he gives a reason for that. See, Antonio, you are sad because your mind is tossing on the oceans there where your Argos is with portly sail, like Signiers and rich burghers on the flood. So he tells Antonio that his his mind is tossing on the ocean along with the Argosy. Argosy is a large merchant ship. So he tells that, see, your large ships are sailing on the waters with portly sail. Portly means they are sailing majestically on the ocean. Like Signiers and rich burghers on the flood, flood here refers to the sea, or as it were, the pageants of the sea. Pageants means the grand show of the sea. Do overpure, do surpass. So your argosies, that is your ships, do surpass the petty traffickers. Petty traffickers here refers to the small commercial boats that curtsy to them, that bow in respect to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their oven wings. Oven wings here refers to canvas sail. Okay, so Salarino says that Antonio is worried about his ships. His mind is out there getting tossed around on the ocean with his ships. But he assures that his ships are fine. They are like huge parade floats on the sea. So when honorable persons, citizens, important citizens, and noblemen come in a crowd, all the other people pay them respect, right? So likewise, your ships are very huge and they float on the sea. They are so big, they look down on the smaller ships, which all have to bow and then get out of the way. And he says that Antonius' ships fly like birds past those little boats. Okay, they are so swift and they are sailing majestically on the ocean. So the he is trying to console Antonio, and he wants to convey the message that Antonio needs not worry about his ships because they are so huge, they are sailing majestically, and no harm will happen to his ship. Salanio. Believe me, sir, had I such venture forth, venture means business, forth means abroad, the better part of my affections, affections means concerns or feelings, would be with my hopes abroad. So Salanio tries to understand Antonio and he says, believe me, sir, if I had such business abroad like yours, my feelings or my concerns would be always attached to my ships only. So I can understand how you feel. I should be still plucking the grass to where sits the wind. Where sits the wind means the direction of the wind. So he says that if I had such a business venture, I mean, such a business abroad, or if I had some ships that are sailing on the sea, I would be holding up a blade of grass to see in which direction the wind is blowing. Peering in maps for ports, so I would be looking very carefully in the maps for port. Port is a place on the coast at which ships can shelter or to load and unload. And piers, that is harbors, and roads. Roads here refers to channels or open harbors, okay? And every object that make me fear misfortune to my ventures. Ventures here refers to business operation. Out of doubt would make me sad. So without doubt, I would be also sad if I had such a venture abroad like yours, right? So Salanio here says that if he is in the same situation of Antonio, he would be plucking blade of grass and seeing the direction of the winds, he will be looking for ports, harbors, and channels and all, and he would be definitely afraid, thinking what would happen to his ship, right? Now, Salarino. My wind, cooling my broth, would blow me to an ague, ague means fever, when I thought what a harm a wind too great at sea might do. My wind refers to his breath. So my breath cooling my broth. Broth means soup. So whenever I cool my soup by blowing on it, I would remember the great harm a wind can do to my ships. The next one. I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats, and see my wealthy Andrew docked in sand. Docked means caught in sand. Andrew is a common name for a ship. Docked in sand, wailing her high top, lowering, wailing means lowering, lowering her high top, lower than her ribs. Ribs refer to the side of the ship. To kiss her burial, to kiss the sand. So what is Salarino saying? He says that whenever he sees the sand running from one half to the other in the sand clock, in the hourglass, okay, hourglass, he will be reminded of shallows and of flats. Shallows means shallow waters, and flats refers to sand banks, okay. And he could or he would imagine his Andrew or his ship sinking in the sea, okay, or Andrew caught in sand, lowering her high top lower than her ribs to kiss her burial. So seeing the hourglass will make him have visions of his ships running aground. The third one, should I go to church and see the holy edifice? Edifice means building of stone, and not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks. Straight means immediately, of dangerous rocks, which touching but my gentle vessel's side would scatter all her spices on the stream, enrobe. Enrobe means cover the roaring waters with my silks, and in a word, but even now worth this, and now worth nothing. Shall I have the thought to think on this, and shall I lack the thought that such a thing bechanced would make me sad? So, what is he saying? Whenever he goes to the church building made of stone, he will be reminded of the hidden rocks in the sea that would break his vessel. Vessel means ship, and scatter all the spices on the stream. So, if a ship breaks or if a ship wrecks, the cargo will be dispersed on the sea water, isn't it? So, whenever he tells that whenever he goes to church, he'll remind it of the dangerous rocks present in the sea. See, seeing the church building made of stone will make him remember of all the possible dangers his ship may face in the ocean. Okay, when the ship wrecks, what will happen? The cargo in the ship would be scattered on the stream. Okay, and the water will be covered with silks, and in a word, but even now worth this, and now worth nothing. So just before a moment the cargo was so valuable, but now it is worth nothing, and this very thought will make one afraid or feel sad or feel tensed. Shall I have the thought to think on this, and shall I lack the thought that such a thing be chanced would make me sad? So can I not imagine the grief which such a disaster would cause me? But tell not me, don't answer me, because I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise. So Salarino tells me, you don't want to answer me because I know it will be sad to think of the possible dangers of your merchandise. So, what is the conclusion of Salanio and Salarino? Antonio is sad because he is so concerned about his ships on the sea. He is worried about his business operations. Antonio: believe me, no. Believe me, Salanio and Salarino, I am not at all worried about my business operation. I thank my fortune for it. See, I thank my wealth and luck for it. My ventures, that is my business, are not in one bottom trusted. So my business is not limited to a single ship. Bottom here refers to a ship, okay? Nor to one place. So my business is not limited to a single ship or to a place, nor is my whole estate upon the fortune of this present year. So my finances are not dependent on this year's profit alone. Therefore, my merchandise makes me not sad. That so I can clearly say that my business is not making me sad. Okay, so that's all for today's class, students. We shall see the remaining lines in the next class. You have to go through line all these lines what you have learned today and try to understand each and everything. Okay, learn the meanings of the difficult words also. Thank you, students.